My name is Carlyle Hulet. Was born in Parowan, Utah, February the 9th, 1922. Well, we lived on a farm, and we had sheep, cattle, and stuff like that. And all during high school, up through high school, why, all I done was farm work. Then I went to college. I got a scholarship to go to college at the Utah State University. I didn't have any money. And the Ranch Agriculture College was in Cedar City, and so they said, I went down and talked to him, and he said, well, yeah, we can transfer your scholarship, So I started working going to school there. And I played basketball for college, earned a letter, and started working at the dairy. And I worked at the dairy for 30 cents an hour in 1940. And they'd let us work 2 hours a day, and then on Saturday and Sunday they'd let us work 8 hours. I got to work 8 hours. We worked there that summer, and then they let me go, and so I decided to go to California with a guy, and we jumped into his car, and we was going to get down and get a job at the Consolidated Aircraft in San Diego. We went down, we slept in the car. We put our application in, and the guy come up to us and said, I can't take you. That's me. You can't take you because you're Army bait, But the other guy had a little murmur in his heart, and they took him, and he went to work. I went up to, this is quite a story. I went up to Los Angeles, and they had a job in Hawaii. And all you had to do is pass the test, physical. And this was on a Thursday before Thanksgiving, okay? And I got up ready to take the test, and I got homesick, and I decided not to go. But the thing that was going to happen, a week from, well, this is on Thursday. On Monday, we was going to ship out, and we'd be in Hawaii on the 7th of December.
Oh, wow.
So see, I missed that. I decided to come home. I wasn't at Pearl Harbor.
Oh, boy.
And my brother, Ralph, was halfway to Hawaii in the Army, going to Hawaii, and they turned them around and sent them back to San Francisco for a couple of weeks, and then they finally sent them back over there. That's how close I come to. That was a lucky break. I've had 2 or 3 real lucky breaks. I came home and we had dinner, and the guy from the dairy came up and said, hey, we need a guy. Do you want to come back to work? And so I went back to work the next day. I'm back at the dairy, and then, of course, Pearl Harbor came, and me and my wife, we couldn't decide whether we wanted to get married or not. It was just one of those things. And so we waited about a year later and decided, well, we would really want to get married, but we was afraid if we did, then I'd have to go to war. It'd be that way. Well, anyway, we got married. And hell, we hadn't been married 3 months. She said, why don't we have a baby? And I said, a baby? What do we want of a baby? And this is what she said. she said, I'd like to have a baby so that I would have a part of you when you go to war. Because there was no way of getting out of that war. There was no way. See, all 5 of us brothers was within age, draft age, and so we all got drafted. And this, you know, it's kind of hard. We had this baby, and in 3 months after we had this baby, well, I got my call to go to the Army. You know.
What year was your first child born?
In 1942.
And how many kids did you have?
We had 8 kids. I lost a girl, she had a brain tumor, my youngest girl, and then I lost Boone. He was the one that was working with me in the dairy last year, or in December a year ago. I've lost 2 daughter-in-laws and 1 son-in-law besides that. And they're still picking on me.
Grandchildren?
Grandchildren, I got 34 grandchildren. And I got something like 65 great-grandchildren. Counting, you know. Then I've got 2, 4, 6 great-grandkids. That's 5 generations. I mean, that's in 5 different families. I've got 5 generations. 8 children, 34 grandchildren, 65 great-grandchildren, and 6 great-great-grandchildren. I think we're hitting about 175 or 180 now in our family, you know. Well, I milked cows until I went to college, and I thought that working in the dairy is a lot better than milking those damn cows, you know. But we used to milk cows by hand, you know. When I was 10 years old, my dad had 3,500 head of sheep. And they was on a mountain about probably, 40 miles, pretty close to 40 miles from our farm. And he said to me, my brother Rupert was the herder, and he said, my dad said to me, Carlyle, you've got to take Rupert some groceries. Hell, I'm only 10 years old. And I said, well, I'll do it, whatever, you know. So I got on the horse and led the pack horse with the food on it, you know. They call them alphonse. And he said, when you get to the summit, which was about 7 miles, he said, go to Uncle Phil's and Uncle Phil will feed you. You know, that's the way they lived, you know. And he said, my dad said, when you leave this summit, you have to pass over this creek. And he said, you got to be careful, because this creek has got quicksand in it. And quicksand, and you get in that quicksand, it just finally sucks you down, you know. I'm pretty scared about that, but, you know, my dad trusted me because in those days, there was no telephones, no nothing, you know. I mean, he sends me out and he don't know if I got there or not. You know, that's pretty sad. We'll see in 7 days if he's still alive, you know. I had a brother, which was kind of funny. He was just older than me, and he'd helped taking sheep up. And he was gonna stay with Rupert, you know, my brother, for a couple of weeks, and then I was gonna go up. Well, Dad was telling me, he said, I got on my horse ready to come home, and here's Elliot over there. He's 14 years old, you know. He said, tears in his eyes, he said, Dad, I've got to go home. I've got to go home. Dad says, why have you got to go home? Well, my socks are dirty. I've got to go home and wash them. I look back now, I don't know how my mother and dad ever made it the way that they had to live, you know, the way that we lived.
What did your mom and dad do?
They were just farmers. They had 9 kids. A girl and a boy, a girl and 2 boys, a girl and 2 boys, and a girl and 2 boys. Well, in the Mormon church, they have a program for every age. You know, like they start out with the kids and they have a little class with them, and then you're 2 years old, why you go to another class and they teach. And the boys, when they're the boys and girls, when they're 8 years old, they'll baptize them. At 8, if they desire. See, I was baptized in 1930, and I've been a member of the church longer than any of the prophet of the church today, and the high council, you know, and all the brothers. I'm older in the church than any of this high council up there. The prophet and his 2 counselors and the quorum of 12. They're not as old as I am, but you know, I can say that because they're not any of them as old as I am, and I was baptized when I was 8 years old.
Wow.
Then of course you go from, they call him a deacon, a boy. Then when he gets 14, if he's worthy, they ordain him to a teacher. And then when he's 16, they'll ordain him to a priest. And that's a lesser priesthood in the Mormon church, okay? And then when you get 18, if you're worthy, you have to be worthy, live the commandments and stuff. And by the way, the commandments has never changed from the day that I joined the church up to the present time. Teach you how to live, and there's certain standards that you should live by. You should live by the word of wisdom, and people criticize that quite a bit, but the word of wisdom is just no more than a good health. Coffee is again the word of wisdom. It's a hot beverage, and it's again the word of wisdom. Smoking's again the word of wisdom. Drinking's again the word of wisdom. All 3 of those things, these again, they affect your body in such a way that the church don't approve of that. I haven't had a cup of coffee since 1962. I never smoked a cigarette. And I haven't drank any liquor. I'm still alive. If you live right, I think that because I was outside a lot, I think that helped me. And then another thing, me and my wife always slept with our door open. And that was like sleeping outside, except you had a cover over you know. Living the gospel is a great thing. And if you live it right and go to the temple, you're married in the temple with your family, it's been prophesied that you'll have your family in the next world. You know, you'll have an eternal family. But you have to go through a process to do that. And that's what some have gone through, you know. Now I want my family in the next world. So I hope that they live in such a way that they can be with us, you know. My health has been good. I lost my eye this high about 20 years ago.
What happened?
I don't know.
Just quit working?
Well, what really happened was I was having trouble with it, and the doctor came down and he burnt my eye. And after that, I never could see out of it. So I have to take one pill a day, one eye drop a day, to keep it from freezing up, you know. And I've done that for about 20 years now. And I take one high pressure pill a day. But I don't know if I need that. I've had that for a long time. Other than that, and aspirin, that's the only thing that I take. But I say I would take something else if I had to. But I'm not going to unless I have to. I've been really fortunate, lucky, you know. Just lucky, that's all. I had a lot of funny things happen in Page, you know. I was delivering this milk, and I rapped on the door, and I said, "Come in." So I walked in, and I couldn't see anybody, you know. And I had a little note on my ticket: knock. If the door's open, go in and put the milk in the fridge. You know, they trusted us. And so I walked back out, and I thought, well, I'm dreaming, you know. Knocked again. "Come in. Come in." And about that time, a lady come up on the porch, and I said, "Lady, I don't know what the hell's going on in this house, but there's something screwy here, you know." I said, I knock. Come in, come in." I walk in, there's nobody in there. And she said, "Oh, I have a minor bird, a black minor bird, and I've taught him all of these different sentences, you know." And so we was standing there talking, and the guy come up on the porch, and that damn minor bird said, "That you, John? Is that you, John?" "Yeah, it's me. Get your money, going to Vegas. Get your money, going to Vegas." When we first started out there, we only had quarts of milk. Then finally we got half gallons of milk. One day I was out there, and you know, a milkman, he pulls into a place, and somebody wants to help him, you know. I said, "Don't help me, don't help me." I pulled out, Babbitt's had a big store there, and in this store was a post office, okay? And I pulled up to deliver to the store. This guy comes up and says, "Let me help you, let me help you." I said, "Hell, I don't need any help. I don't need any help.